Hi everyone, it's Clinton from Home Drafting and Design here on site with my good buddy Jeff Lee from Complete Contracting Solutions. How's it going, Jeff?
Good, man.
Good. So we're here today. We are finally going to get to see the final product on Unit 3 of 77 Scugog.
Yes, sir. This has been a long time coming. As you know, this was a big project. It was a lot to chew, but we finally made it to the end here. We got inspections. This bad boy is ready to rent.
Okay.
It's pretty exciting. You want to?
I'm super excited. Let's
go. Let's take a look. Well,
wow. What? That's not even the same space.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really transformed. I mean, it's a beautiful butterfly now.
Wow, what a metamorphosis. To think, not what, 8 months ago was when we really started the project here?
Yeah, so we've done the 3 units in 8 months. And I mean, these were not normal units. You know, you drew the plans.
Yeah.
They had a lot of intricacies, a lot of structural. This place was essentially falling down when we got here, right?
It was quite the process. So, I mean, I know that out of all the units, probably Unit 1 was probably the easiest, would you say? Or was Unit 2? I mean, this definitely wasn't it.
No, it wasn't this one. So yeah, I'd say probably Unit 2 had a little less to the structural side, right? We did have the ceiling stuff, but I think this one topped them all. I mean, it literally, the structure was falling down on this place. It came together, it really did.
Okay, so walk us through this project. We saw Unit 1, we saw the structure that had to go on there. We saw Unit 2, there was a lot of work that we had to do pre-planning while we were doing Unit 1.
Yeah.
This whole unit was pretty much independent from the other unit.
Yeah, so we got to do this one, like you said, independent. So when we finished up over on that side, we came over here and it was kind of like refresh, reset, let's do this. We got in, we did the demo, and then we were able to start working towards those huge structural pieces, right? Like this was brick wall, this was actually an old exterior wall, so it was literally structural. So this had to be taken out and opened up to this space.
I know that we saw that in some of the earlier videos, just of what we had going on just above our heads here, with the fact that there were barn boards there were huge, massive chunks taken out for plumbing and HVAC, where I don't understand at some point how we were all standing up there and didn't fall through the floor.
Honestly, I don't know. Makes me nervous just thinking about the fact that we were standing on it. Yeah, so it was pieced together, it was choppy, and there was nothing structural about it, let's be honest. So we had the massive structural for the roof up top. That one was a quad. Thank you for not making that steel.
Well, I know, and we talked about that at different stages too.
Yes.
What the best course of action was for that one, because we had a massive beam that we had to install in the roof line.
Yeah.
When they had done the roof, they basically kept what was there and built on top of it and never properly supported it in the middle. We had a janky wall that was the dividing wall between the bathroom and this unit at the time. And it was literally at one point we actually saw, when we opened up the wall, that it was being supported on little chunks of 2x2.
Yeah, it was hanging off those 2x2s. It wasn't the easiest thing we've ever done, but thankfully we had the discussion and went with the LVLs.
Were there any type of complications that you ran into as we were installing this LVL back here? Because it was kind of an afterthought. We didn't intend to do that in the first place.
Right. The only complications, as you know, again, you did the plans, was that some of it had to be supported from the other unit. So we did at some point have to incorporate the other unit, which obviously the investor wants to rent, so it was rented. So we did have to deal a little bit with some scheduling and try to get on that side to do some of the work, right? So that was one. The other one was supply. Supply is almost non-existent for LVLs, right? So it took me, I think, a dozen phone calls or so, give or take, to actually secure these LVL beams to get them here.
I also noticed our finished bathroom here on the landing, which is amazing.
The bonus bathroom.
The bonus room, yes. So, I mean, we got really lucky there just finding this additional space that wasn't there before, right? It was just, when you guys opened up the wall, what did you find? It was like a slop sink that was in there, basically?
Yeah, there was an old laundry sink from God knows how many years ago, and someone had decided to basically just go ahead and board and leave that space behind. Did you want to take a look?
Yeah, absolutely.
you know, the original plan was this, and it was gonna come here, and this was where it was closed off. And then you go upstairs. And when we found the extra space, this is what we end up with, a nice 2-piece powder room.
The fact that we could even make a secondary bathroom in an apartment like this is incredible to begin with. I mean, usually you're stuck with just a 3-piece washroom. And I guess the other advantage of all this is it worked with the layout because from a installation aspect, your other bathroom's like directly above your head. So walk me through like the system that we have above our heads too, because we ran into obviously having to basically change the entire, well, most of the framing that was in this place, right? Like the bare bones of this place, the exterior walls remained, but we had to reframe and reshore so much stuff that was going on here. And to top it all off, we're talking about balloon framing, which is totally different than your conventional framing. So
absolutely,
walk us through some of the challenges that you had with trying to be able to put this all together.
Coming in to do the structural as per the plans, it threw us a curveball, right? So this was the really bad area of framing right here. We ended up with the beam from here to that side, right? To support this section here. We've got some footings in the basement to support the stair structure and then the beam as well. We also had to do these joists. So basically what ended up happening on the balloon framing was to support these joists, we couldn't really get out onto the outside wall. So we've got a rim board, so to speak, across this section, lag bolted to the old balloon framing. And then we took it to that section over there, which is actually a no basement section. So we had some concrete to sit on that side.
So talking about things that are a little bit different, I mean, I know that the plans on this one evolved as we went along. Like the original plan from our first coming in here was the space directly above us here was actually going to become part of a ensuite laundry room for Unit 2.
Yeah.
As time progressed, that all got closed off and this actually became all part of Unit 3 back here. I even noticed here with some of the framing, originally we had it planned that this was gonna step out more for more head height going up the stairs, but it seems like your team was able to make it work. You guys figured out a way of pulling this back enough that we could get enough head height going up there.
Yeah, this one was, I think evolving is a good word. So when you're in a property that's this old, the whole thing about it is you can't kind of follow that rigid plan that you have. You're gonna have to make changes and kind of adapt and pivot as you go along because things aren't as they seem or may not be as they should be as you start to open things up and as you start to build, right? So head height was good, which I always appreciate. We don't want to get in trouble with the head height, but the guys were able to figure out by when putting in these beams that they could just sneak by on the head height and bring this back rather than having that open space, scooch it over a little, make this fully floor or ceiling, whichever floor you're on, and then add this space to that upstairs room, which I'm sure we'll go look at.
Well, let's go see how that worked out upstairs in that bedroom.
Sure.
Love the handrail, by the way.
Nice, right? A very upgraded staircase.
I'm actually really surprised with some of the finish choices throughout this.
Sure.
I mean, we're talking about a unit that is going to be rented. I mean, you think about the other units that are back there, and again, some of them have incorporated some of those older aspects of it, like the railing and stuff like that we were able to use over there. It's interesting that she went with such,
modern.
Yeah, modern finishes up here. Like
some higher end stuff too. I always appreciate a good oak staircase, let's be honest. So I was excited when she decided to upgrade the staircase. Looks phenomenal.
So here's the space that we were just talking about downstairs. We're in an area here where this was originally actually supposed to be basically our head height. And I guess by doing this, instead of having the window in the stairs now, we've incorporated it into the bedroom. The
window is downstairs already at the landing, right? So this one does better in here, adds a little extra light. So that was kind of a bonus and a little bonus space. So that big quad beam we talked about is that piece right here.
Gotcha.
And it goes straight through to the other side. So we already had this there, and then this piece of roof was actually angled. So really you had a couple of options. I mean, you could have an odd bulkhead go up and then angle back, but we really thought that would look odd. So we kind of just did a one drop and a straight across.
this is still, if we were in a basement apartment, this is more than acceptable.
Absolutely.
We're almost at, what, 7.5 feet?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
And then 8 feet on the rest of the ceiling. It doesn't look that out of place. And I remember even when we were in the bathroom, like, I mean, this used to be our bathroom. It was just really kind of awkward what was going on here before.
Yeah.
And even the ceiling was all kind of slightly, well, I mean, that might have been just because of the shape of the building, but it was slightly on a bit of an angle. So
yeah.
I see what you're saying, like you guys have just taken all those lines and tried to straighten everything out and
right.
make it look as clean as possible.
Right, tighten it up and give that flat ceiling look. Not only is this place now built to last, but it also looks great too.
Well, I know even when we were originally talking about this, when we first walked into this place with Cecilia, there was talk of trying to put the stairs back where they were originally, and
yeah.
that would have put us basically where I'm standing right about now. And they were very narrow and very tight.
Yeah.
And now that we've even moved the stairs over there, I mean, what a difference up here. Not only have we been able to recapture the space over here, but then what you guys were able to do with the bathroom on the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, you were able to create a very comfortable 3-piece bathroom over there. And again, over top of your now 2-piece washroom. I mean, what you guys have added to just in that area over there for value for the tenant in here is incredible.
For sure. It's a huge bonus for this rental here.
Mm-hmm. It really feels like its own separate 2-story house.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about finishes. Why don't we go back downstairs, go take a look at that kitchen one last time, because that turned out really nice.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It did. It turned out great.
You know, every time I come down here, Jeff, I'm just blown away. When I look at this in comparison to where we were a couple of months ago, it just blows my mind. So I gotta ask you a question though, because I've seen a lot of different backsplashes. What's going on here? We decided to go with an octagonal tile?
Yeah, so we got something a little different. I mean, your stacked brick is what you usually see in the rectangle. This one, I mean, the customer asked for something a little different. This is what she wanted, and I mean, we're always happy to do that, right? I think she's trying to light up the space a little, but give it some, I don't know, make it a little interesting, you know what I mean?
Well, I see that it's kind of a cool honeycomb looking pattern going on there, and it kind of offsets the fact that we got these really dark countertops. And as I'm looking at these countertops and I'm looking at the cabinets, and I mean, I've been in a lot of houses. I've seen a lot of different projects, and I'm gonna guess that we're looking at some repurposed cabinetry and countertops in this one. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, this budget got expanded a lot, as you know. We made a lot of changes, and really we gutted this thing and redid everything. I mean, electrical, HVAC, and that budget expanded and expanded. And I think near the end of the project, to kind of save on the budget, we had the client do some cabinets that were used.
I like what you guys did though. You managed to utilize some of the bulkheads that were here, you know, using 30-inch upper cabinets over top of the fridge because you had that extra height. And it looks as though like there's not a lot of cabinetry here. Right. So it looks like it probably wasn't too difficult to try and make the amount of cabinets work in the space.
So I think it turned out really well. We did use the bulkheads that were existing from the HVAC, just kind of brought it along a little further to kind of tie it together. And it turned out good. I
gotta say, Jeff, I'm thoroughly impressed with what you guys have done. You know, congrats to you and your team. This has got to be an awesome win for you. I mean, this is like 8 months in the works to be able to see all of this, you know, come into fruition. It looks really good. You did a great job.
Thank you so much. It's been a long project, you know, 3 units, but definitely this one was ended on a high note. It had a lot to it, and it turned out fabulous. We're super happy with it.
Well, thanks again for taking some time today, going through everything that went on here in this project. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we have in the future, especially in Clarington here with the whole ADU bylaws that are coming out. This is amazing to see how this is developing and how this area is growing, and I'm looking forward to working with you a lot more on those projects.
All right, always awesome. Good seeing you, pal.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Jeff. Well, everyone, that's our time here at 77 Scugog. I hope you enjoyed watching this project as it developed from start to finish. Special thanks to Jeff Lee at Complete Contracting Solutions for all of his work and all of his team's effort here on this project. If you enjoyed this project, make sure that you like and subscribe to see some of our other videos of projects very similar to this, as we will have many more rolling out in the next little while as the new bylaw in Clarington for accessory dwelling units unfolds. So if you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy those as well. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.